The last thing that we want to look at when it comes to transformations is what happens when the number in front of your function is negative. And so anytime there's a negative value being multiplied by your variable, or by the function in general, you're going to reflect your graph over the x-axis. So if you think for just a second, the original y equals x, like this, and if we reflect it over the x-axis, every point is going to be the same distance away, but on the other side of the line. So before we went up 1 over 1, now we're going to go down 1 over 1, and then your graph is going to look like this, which seems awfully familiar. It has a negative slope. But for the absolute value function, we still start at 0, 0, and this now is going to open down instead of up. So that's your reflection over the x-axis because of the negative value. If we do the negative x squared again, we still start at 0, 0, but now our parabola is going to open down, out 1, down 1, down 1, and before we went out 2, up 4, so we go down 4. I'm going to get an idea of what this graph is going to look like. For the negative square root, before we still started at 0, 0, we went out 1, up 1. Now we're going to go out 1, down 1, and out 4, down 2. Same graph, just reflected. And then again, we've got 0, 0, and then we would go out 1, up 1. Now we'll go out 1, down 1. And the second point was here before, so it's going to be reflected to the other side. And so our cubic function is essentially going to curve the opposite direction. Before it started off down and ended up, now it's going to start up and then down. So each of these functions is simply reflected over the x-axis. So before our absolute value function looks like this, before our parabola looked like this, before our square root function looked like this, and before our cubic function looked. So everything is simply being reflected over the x-axis.